Hello and welcome back to Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Last time I completed his first test to becoming a Grail Mercenary, and now he's about to go out on his first official job. Here's a little early bird cameo of some of the Grail Mercenaries map models. If some of you guys know who they are, you might be able to point them out. And here's Titania. She is amazing, and she is also the second in command of the Grail Mercenaries. Sorry if you guys hear that clicking in the background. That'll be my very old GameCube controller. And of course, we're going to be dealing with Fire Emblem's most generic enemies, bandits. Now we know that Boyd has a brother. Before we get too far with the video, I'd like to give a shout out to my new subscribers. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. Here's Oscar. If you guys would like a shout out at all, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. Yeah, the absolute model of perfection for Ike. We'll see, Boyd. Now here Titania is going to be showing us a map of where we are in relation to the enemy as well as the enemy's commander. Now I'd also like to take a moment to say if you're not already, please follow the channel on Twitter for updates on what we're doing with the channel when we're posting more videos, because I'll be posting my updates there until we can unlock the YouTube community tab. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell to help me fight the YouTube algorithm. It would really help me out. It's going to be our first Siege chapter. We'll need to get Ike to that red tile. Here, Titania will be explaining to us what the weapon triangle is. That's a pretty good way of remembering the weapon triangle, Ike. Speaking of visiting, there is something I'd like to show you all with Ike's inventory. Now, in the American version of Path of Radiance, there's actually a glitch in which if you skip the visiting tutorial, Ike will end up with 4 iron swords in his inventory instead of 1 for some reason. I have no idea why this happens at all, but we will be using it to our advantage. I will be trying to trade these iron swords around with everybody to try to keep them for as long as possible until we can get to our first base. This is Titania. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, I will not be doing character bios here. I'll be doing them down in the description for you guys for the sake of time, but I will be showing you guys class descriptions for any classes we have not seen yet. And I'll also be telling you if I'll be using these units or not. In Titania's case, I will be bringing her along in some chapters for the sake of dialogue and story, but I actually do not plan on using her in this playthrough. I plan on subbing her out with a unit I have never used in this game, as a sort of self-imposed challenge. And now I'll also announce for you guys that I'll be doing 2 playthroughs of both this game and its sequel, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. And in the second playthrough of each game, it'll be a viewer's challenge in which you guys will choose the units that you would like me to use throughout those playthroughs, and I'll beat the games using those units that you choose. So if you see a unit here that you want me to use, but I didn't use in this playthrough, keep that in mind for the viewer's challenge. Also, Titania comes with the skill Counter. Now if you've played Awakening, forget everything you know about the skill. In this game, it is so much worse. It has a skill over 2% chance of activating, and when it activates, it only deals back damage to the enemy equivalent to half of the damage they deal to you. And in Titania's case, Titania really doesn't take that much damage at this point in the game. She takes little to no damage at all. So it is pretty much a useless skill on her. And the second you get access to skill removal, I recommend removing it in favor of skills like Soul. This is Oscar. Now is a better time than any to talk about the promotions for Mounted Knights in this game, as it's a bit unique as opposed to other Fire Emblem games, and the fact that when they promote, you can choose their secondary weapon for them. And in the case of Oscar, he can choose between swords, axes, or bows. Now here's the pain. If you want a 100% run, you need to choose bows for Oscar and also have Boyd promoted, because in order to unlock a certain base conversation chapter 19, you need to fulfill those requirements. Now, if you don't care about the little gameplay mechanic it can give you, which really, in my opinion, doesn't do much at all in terms of gameplay to alter anything, then you can keep on going. You won't miss any story at all for missing that base conversation. But if you're a perfectionist and you want that little tiny gameplay mechanic in that one base conversation, then you'll absolutely 100% need to choose bows for Oscar upon promotion. And you might also notice that he has something here called a Paladin Band. Now, bands in this game will help increase growth rate percentages, and in this case, with Oscar using the Paladin Band, it will increase his growth rates of his HP and speed by 5%. Bands are exclusive to second playthrough and upward only. You cannot use them in your first playthrough. Similar to Oscar, Boyd also comes with a band. He comes with a fighter band, and the fighter band increases the growth rates of HP and strength by 5%. Boyd comes with a skill as well called Tempest, which doubles your biorhythm effects, which also brings me to biorhythm. Biorhythm, in my opinion, is one of the worst, if not the worst, mechanics in the Tellius series. Now, it is a wave that fluctuates each turn, and when you're set in the top position or the high position, you'll be gaining +5 to your hit and your evasion rates, and when it's set in the low position, you'll be losing 5 to your hit and your evasion rates. Now, because Boyd has the Tempest skill, he'll be gaining or losing ±10 to his hit and evasion rates. Really, Tempest is pretty much a useless skill in my opinion, and if you plan on using Boyd in the long term, I recommend removing it and switching it out for other skills that you can obtain later on in the game. Now, I actually do not plan on using Boyd or Oscar long term in this game, but I do plan on promoting them both so that way you guys can see that base conversation at chapter 19. Now, before we do anything, I'd like to scroll down here, and same with the bands, this bonus XP display is second playthrough and onward exclusive. I will be turning this on, and I'll also explain more of what this is whenever we get to our base. Now, generally, I like to have Titania visit this house, but first, we have bandits on the map. Now, this house is not savable, but we want to try to get to this house before this bandit or this bandit can get to it, otherwise they will burn the house down. Which is quite easy, actually, to get to that house over there. Now, I like to have Titania come over here and visit this house. And he'll give us a steel sword. I want to trade that to Ike. So I'm going to have Ike come over here and fight this little fighter over here. We're going to fight the fighter. Then I want Boyd to come over here and deal with the fighter down by this house. We're going to take Oscar and have finish off this fighter over here to lure out that Myrmidon down there. And there's a crit. Alright, well, I think Boyd will take on that fighter next turn, finish him off, get the experience for it. This fighter's gonna attack, or not this fighter, this Myrmidon's gonna attack Oscar. Paladins with swords, not fighters. And then I'm debating if I want to get that kill with Ike or get it with Oscar. I think I want to get it with Oscar and then send Ike up a little bit to deal with this Myrmidon up here with the Iron Sword as well as this bandit. So I think we'll get the kill with Oscar. I'll have Oscar wait here. Oh, and for those of you guys that are familiar with checking enemy ranges, Path of Radiance was actually the game that introduced this feature. Now, you were not able to target all of the enemy ranges at once until Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. There's your fun fact in the video. I think I should survive a hit or two from the Myrmidon. Let me check his inventory. Okay. It should be good. And we'll move Titania up here. Now I actually like to try to get Ike to level 20 as fast as I can because he'll have a forced promotion later on in the game. But the quicker I get him to level 20, the quicker I could set him aside until that forced promotion, so that way I can focus on my weaker units. Now I think we're going to take the steel sword from Ike, or not the steel sword, the iron sword, so we're about to get another one right there. We're going to defeat this bandit with Oscar. Pretty good level up. You do 5 damage to Ike. Oh, that'd be 11. I think we're going to heal up right here. And then hopefully, Void won't take too many hits. Let's visit this house with Oscar. Seraph Robes. Now, if you played Awakening, I believe Seraph Robes increased your maximum HP by 5 hit points, but in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, it'll actually increase your maximum health by 7 points. Let's take him out, Void. There we go. And the thing I like about this game and in Radiant Dawn is that your main lord actually has unique boss dialogue with every single boss in the game, including generic bosses. Not the best level up. You can try. There we go, Ike. Now I think I'm gonna have Boyd and Oscar try to double team this guy here. And the Oscar's already doubling. Level up for Boyd. Not too bad. I'm gonna have Ike kill the boss here. Now I think we're going to trade Ike the Iron Axe for the Iron Sword. Some hints there that Commander Grail might be more special than we think he is. Hey, it's better than forgetting your axe like Bake did in Awakening. But hey, at least Boyd's excited about his job. And with that, we end chapter 1. Join us next time as we deal with more bandits.